All right, I'm down here in the man cave and I'm about ready to process a bunch of rabbits. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you what I've learned and maybe save you some steps. But I try to do things one time. I try to design things for the last, decades. And I just keep trying to improve upon that. So let me show you the setup that I have for my processing station and give you some clues of, you can make this as simple as you want. I tend to go to where this is simple but convenient for me, all weather. So the first thing you'll notice is I've got an actual table next to a double sink. And I set up the table where it's actually sloping towards the sink. And then I've got a massive cutting board that covers the entire tabletop. The other thing is I have lighting directly over the table. And then I also have this, I forget what they call it. Let's say an animal sling or something, but you can, do hogs and deer, whatever. And I just attached some slip knots onto it to hold the rabbit's legs. So that's kind of a key thing. I have a bowl here, for when I start, removing the skin and innards, and I have a place to put it. And then down here, right next to it, I have a contractor bag over. It's actually one of my charcoal containers. I found that was nice and sturdy because when I process 10, 12 rabbits, it's going to be probably, 12 times 3. It's going to be like 40 pounds of waste that's going to go with it. Right next to this, I have a chest full of ice. Actually, it's ice water. And you're going to need some leather gloves. I use that for handling. Even though my rabbits are actually fairly tame, the dispatching part of it can be a little bit traumatic for them, and it just saves you. As soon as I get past where the rabbits have been dispatched, then I put on nitrile gloves. And, it's just for my safety. They could have, pee or poop or whatever on them, and I'm just trying to keep myself as sterile as possible. I've tried all kinds of different knives. If you're working with processing meats all the time, you would prefer to have, one of these plastic knives because they're sealed better and there's less chance of things getting in there. But these two knives are actually too long. In fact, this one's too long for what we're doing. It'll work, but we're working with a really small animal, so you want to migrate towards these shorter knives. So we look at this here. And out of these three, the one I settled on, I like this one the best. I just, from the beginning, it just gives me more of a blade for this this area. I've used this in the background. I keep that laying on the table in the event this gets dull too quick. Some of the older rabbits, the skins are very tough, and you'll dull that knife pretty quickly. And so I'll have this one on the ready. This one is actually for cutting through the joints and cutting the head off. Sounds pretty gross, but you got to do it. And this gives you, like 90% of it will be cut clear, and it's just a PVC pipe cutter. I don't think most people ever thought about using this, but this works really good for cutting the feet off and for cutting the head off and even the tail. Makes it very simple. And it's a ratchet type thing, so it doesn't take a lot of force. Anybody can pretty much use that. I have these, I've found that these shrink bags work excellent, and these are the perfect size. I can fit two. I start with a little bit over 6-pound rabbits, and after processing, 2 rabbits, putting them in the bag. Now, I do keep a separate Ziploc that I put the heart, the liver, and the kidneys in, and I actually will cook those for my dogs. They love those. So, you'll probably end up out of a 6-pound rabbit about 3 pounds of meat processed. So these bags will hold about 6 pounds. In fact, I use these same bags for my chickens, and the chickens, excuse me, are probably about 7 or 8 pounds after process, and they work fine. So some of the other things, oh yeah, I forgot, I have one of these aprons that kind of cover you from your neck down. And then I have, the contractor bags. I keep those readily available. And I got these box of paper towels. I keep that available and then we have bleach for sanitizing everything before and after. And so that's kind of, oh, one more thing. So this is a garden tool. This is meant for like turning over your soil, but I have found that this absolutely works perfect. You put the rabbit's neck in between these two right here, and on the 3-month-old rabbits, it fits perfect, and then you just grab their bottom legs and pull really hard, and it snaps their neck. And it's very humane. It's done very quickly, and the rabbit is dead immediately. And then you can move on to the rest of the processing. But I've got that tied up here on this. This is a pretty heavy-duty rack, so that's probably over 3 feet long, and I've got it tied at one end there and tied at the other end. So those are my main tools. Let me get to processing some rabbits, and I'll show you some of the tricks for processing. But oh, I think I forgot to talk about the knife sharpener. So there's several of these smaller knife sharpener, and I've settled on this particular one. I like this diamond that it's got on the coarse side. It doesn't last a long time, but it actually works really well. It gives me the best edge I've had so far for, you know, quick and dirty sharpening. This works great. And so, you know, I've got one of them. I bought another one just to be able to show you what it was. I got it at one of my sporting goods stores, and I don't even think these things are even $5. But every time I process a rabbit, I come back and sharpen again, because again, the hide is pretty tough on the knife edge. And so this knife, I probably have gone through 100 rabbits, and you can see the probably more than 100 rabbits, and you can see the edges. It's still in really good shape. So that V shape to the sharpener, you know, keeps the knife in a really good shape. It doesn't, you know, change that angle of the blade at all. Like I said, this has been sharpened a bunch of times. So anyways, this is kind of what my setup, and I've got a plexiglass background on here as well, and I've got that RTV'd a piece of angle aluminum there on the back, and so this is easy to wash down. And I forgot, I also have a mat for anti-fatigue mat for standing here, because I'm going to be standing here for probably 3 or 4 hours today. I need to process probably 12 to 18 rabbits. Probably won't get through all of them today, but I need to at least get through 10 of them. So I keep my iced tea nearby, and I got a radio that I run. So I also have my cell phone, so I can listen to some YouTube videos and keep learning stuff. So anyways, that's my initial setup. I'll do a separate video on processing rabbit, so we keep these relatively short, but that's the part 1 of the things you should consider for when you're processing rabbits. All right, I hope everybody's treating you well. God bless, and have a great day.